the ground in their stead, I'd do it gladly.
Durable, well built, feels great to control with a massive library of games. I am, of course, describing the Nintendo DS. For the past 30 years, Nintendo has held the monopoly on handheld gaming devices, but these are inherently limited. Because they have to be smaller, cheaper, and more battery operated than the corresponding home consoles, they're often a decade or so behind. Nintendo's latest console can play Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 games pretty well, but anything after that has to be severely gimped down to fit on the lower powered hardware. That means that people looking to play more recent games on portable hardware have to turn to larger and bulkier solutions.
What's up? It's your boy Gamerman39. This is my Dell gaming PC. As you can see, it is approximately the width of an average subway foot long, aka 1 foot.
Oh no, my ad block has been updated. It's telling me about it. I don't like. What's great about this thing is it only weighs about 7.2 pounds, which is only slightly more than the average newborn.
What you'll notice is that this thing is packed with the latest specs. I'm talking 38 mobillion gigabytes of RAM. It's got a 4K processor with a 33 hard drive. It pretty much runs every game at pretty good settings most of the time. As you can see, Google is running at a smooth frame rate. Hear that fan noise? See, all we're doing is running Microsoft Edge, and this thing is already generating approximately 200 Celsius of pure raw power. They say it's oil, but actually my laptop is single-handedly causing rapid climate change. Alright, I'm through putting this thing out of its misery.
So gaming laptops aren't necessarily the most elegant solution to the portable gaming thing, but the idea is there, right? Take the contents of something like a gaming laptop and put them into a handheld gaming device like the Switch.
My gosh, I might actually be able to play a video game on my video game system. Wow. Now this is advanced.
If you don't already know, Steam is a platform for downloading and playing PC games, and PC is the key word there. Because computers don't go in and out of style like consoles do, the Steam Deck has the largest library of games of any console available. However, the issue with bringing a library of PC games over to a handheld console is that many of these games were never designed to be played with a controller. For instance, simulation games typically play horribly on handheld consoles because they're designed for mouse input and not gamepad-based input. When the deck was announced, I expected that these issues would go unnoticed, but one thing that constantly struck me as I learned more about the product is how Valve has really thought of everything. For instance, for games that are controlled with a mouse, the deck has 2 trackpads on either side for mouse inputs. That means that a ton of games that were barely playable on console now work great. But Valve goes further. Another design principle of the Steam Deck is complete control. This is not a walled-off product. Instead, it is a computer in an unusual shape. You have complete control over almost every part of the device, including the way the controller is mapped. The controller settings are incredibly in-depth. You can map every button to a key, you can map the release of a button to a key, you can map the button to a specific part of the screen, you can map the left joystick to the right joystick, and the right joystick to the mouse. You can add gyroscopic aiming to mouse-controlled first-person shooters. You can make it so that if you press down the analog trigger halfway, it presses one key, but if you press it down fully, it triggers another key. Or maybe it triggers a tap on the touchscreen. Did I mention it has a touchscreen? Or 4 extra back buttons that are also remappable. All of these little things add up to the ability to make every single game work perfectly on deck. Of the games I played, I never had any issues with any of the control schemes. If you're concerned with a specific game, the Steam store has been labeled with information about each game and how playable it is on deck. Even the games that Valve claims have some issues, I was usually able to play just fine. And the controls are really great as well. The buttons, joysticks, trackpads, and triggers all feel fantastic. These trackpads are haptic, by the way, and you can set the amount of vibration in the controller settings, and you can set a specific amount per game if you want. The whole device has great build quality, and it comes with a fantastic case to keep it safe if you put it in a bag and don't want it to get damaged. Fan noise is definitely an issue, but I never felt the deck getting hot around my hands. Most of the high-powered hardware is located towards the middle of the device, so even if it's pushing high-quality graphics, it'll never burn your hands. Even though it is built really well, if you do have an issue, Valve has guides explaining exactly how to tear apart the deck and replace its components. They don't say it's easy.
Opening up and replacing parts might mess things up, like profoundly. For example, if you damage the battery, the whole thing could catch fire later, which would be bad.
But it's definitely there if you want. It all feeds into the idea of complete control over the device, and that doesn't stop with the hardware itself. This is an actual computer with actual computery bits inside and an actual Linux-based operating system.
Man, these articles.
I didn't have to hack anything to get to this desktop, it's just built into the power menu. Hacking the deck to run foreign software could barely be called hacking. And this has not gone unnoticed by the Steam Deck community. A program called EmuDeck lets you install emulators for a ton of different consoles. That means that you can play original Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii, Wii U, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, original Xbox and Xbox 360 games, and even some Switch games at frame rates and resolutions that almost always surpass their original hardware. Because SteamOS has built-in support for non-Steam games, emulated games are super easy to access from within the home screen. Match that up with the fact that Sony and Microsoft have released most of their exclusive libraries on Steam, and you've got a console that can play most games, regardless of original hardware or input device. The Steam Deck is the perfect incarnation of what portable gaming should look like. It pairs powerful hardware with great software to deliver a fantastic experience no matter what game you're playing. It also sets a new standard for consumer friendliness by allowing you to poke around in the depths of its operating system. It is without a doubt one of the most impressive pieces of technology I've ever used.